哦，好哦，
这
嗯，这好不错啊，错过。
Okay, welcome to Tavern Keeper. I set that to large tavern, river bottom. I'm starting a new game here in Tavern Keeper. Obviously on river bottom, I'm using my custom settings here, which is basically challenging, just a little less challenging. I'm gonna set my starting goal to 0, which means we have to take out a loan to begin with. Cheats will be on because it's an early access game and sometimes things break. Um, Spoil rate, I reduced this down from 50 to plus 25%. Most of these settings have just been reeled in from the rather extreme settings that challenging sets. One notable change: interest rates. Challenging by default sets this to plus 100%. I reduced that to 50 because the interest rates are already kind of hilarious in this game, especially on day 1. We'll be taking a loan, and the bankruptcy grace period I increased from 12 hours to 24 hours, just because I tend to go bankrupt in the middle of the night and I want a chance. I want the bank to let me prove that the next day I can make enough money to come out of bankruptcy. Sales tax I'll reduce further to 18%, just because, again, starting with the loan is going to be pretty hard in and of itself. And yeah, everything else here, again, just kind of reined in from the rather high extremes. So there you go. Those will be my settings. Let's add a little bit more chaos, maybe. I don't know if sometimes here is different from sometimes here, but we'll pretend it is. All right, let's get started. So I'm really just looking for a challenge in this playthrough. I'm not looking to do anything too crazy.
Welcome to River Bottom. I hope you like mud. The rats certainly do.
Thank you very much. I do care about aesthetics quite a lot. I want to have a cozy, comfy pub here, but it's day 1 and I have no money. So aesthetics are not the priority. Right now, making money is the priority, which we do right here with the loans. So I want to minimize my daily payment, but I want to make sure I have enough money to not I want to make sure I have enough money to actually make money, which means hiring someone and getting my tap and bar up and running. So I'm looking at this one, which has a really low per day payment, but I don't think 150 will be enough. We're going to be looking at probably at least 25 to build all the rooms. It'll be 50 for the bar, 60 for the tap. That's over 100, yeah. So I don't think this one's enough. We're gonna go with this 285 here. That's 70 coin per day, which is quite a lot. But I think we'll be able to make more than that in these first 2 days. And then, if you're familiar with this game, you know that the more it goes on, by day 10 or so, you'll be making lots and lots of money. So let's get started with a tap room. I do have a rough idea of how I want to lay this out. We're gonna do tap room in this big area over here. I want to do a U-shaped bar with access points in the back to a storeroom here, which will be in the middle by our deliveries. This will act as a buffer also between the accommodations, which I'll put in this corner, and the staff and kitchen areas, which I'll put in that corner. So first things first, we need to build our absolutely comically minuscule tap room, which is going to contain 1 bar and 1 tap itself. So let's get started with that. We'll have our bar here. I think none of this is permanent, obviously. This is subject to a great deal of change as we get further along in our development here. We'll put the door there for now, and the tap, is that backwards? There we go. Tap will go there. So as you can see, the guests don't actually, or the patrons don't actually need to have space in front of the tap, so we can get away with that. I don't want the patrons walking behind the bar. I also don't have any way for the staff to walk in front of it, but we'll address that in a second. Let's do a staff room hallway, and this is a nice way to prevent the patrons from walking sort of whoa, 57. Oh, because it's destroying that tap room for some reason, or the tap bar. I don't know why it's doing that, actually. Can I go this way? We're going to go this way for now. I keep making that mistake where it auto-selects the door. Sorry, can we do staff room, please? It auto-selects the door every time you build a structure, and I really don't like that because it's not very conducive to this sort of building strategy that I use. Well, maybe I'm just using the wrong building strategy. That's always a possibility. All right. So if you didn't know, you get full refunds on items as long as you delete them within a reasonable amount of time of placing them. So the only other items I want here are a storeroom, which, as mentioned, will go. I guess just like that for now. 8. Can I even get away with less cost? Like 5? Is that even less? Maybe. I think the pallets are 2, so maybe a 3x4 there, plus store, and then we can get a couple of pallets in here, maybe. Okay, maybe we get 1 pallet in there. That's I want 2 pallets, so we're gonna expand the storeroom by 1, which I think will be enough to get 2 pallets in there. So you hold shift there and you can sort of finesse this a little better. Wow, what? Is it not deep enough? I guess it's only allowing it there because the doorway's there. Okay, let's let's expand it one more time. Or you know what I could do? I could just delete that and make this whole area storeroom. How about that? That should work a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. So then we can get pallet 1, pallet 2. Might end up selling one of those pallets if we run out of cash. Don't need any rear door access quite yet. That will probably come on day 2 or 3. Don't care about firefighting gear. We can probably hire our first staff. So, obviously we want somebody that is good at everything, or at this stage of the game, maybe just not bad at everything. And it looks like everybody hates doing something except Yindra? I don't know the exact pronunciation. You're slow, you are unskilled, squeamish, which is fine. Night Owl we can't really take, though, for our first employee. We do have a lot of Night Owls. I don't know, like, how catastrophic... Like, it says it makes them unhappy. It doesn't say how unhappy, and I've generally avoided Night Owls in this game until you need, like, an overnight janitor or something. This seems pretty decent. You're gonna get pissed off doing the dog's body work. Oh, and you're a berserker, so maybe... Anybody else here? You're squeamish? And you don't like chefing, but we're not going to be doing much chefing on the early days. And you are good at janitorizing. So we're going to take Dalen here. I did not look at what his vice was. Lethargy. Ooh, I don't like that one, but we'll try to keep him happy. We'll extend our tap room by just a little bit here. Really trying to conserve every penny I can. Which you need to do early in the game like this. We're going to resume now until our merchant arrives. There he is. And get the cheapest beer we can. I actually have a little bit more money than I thought at this point, so maybe we can go right to Druid's Foot. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we do 2 bottles of Scrape Barrel and and a druid's foot and then build a second tap already? No, we'll just do the 2 barrels of scrape for now. There's one of them. There's the other one. He's gonna do his wretched dog's body. Oh no, this is the one that just dislikes being a chef. Okay, that's good. Let's get you stocking the scrape barrel. Did you have another scrape barrel? You did not. Okay, let's I like to buy 3 on day 1. So let's get a druid's foot. And we have 70 left. Which, you know, do I want the floor mat? Floor mat will help keep things clean, which means this guy can keep serving drinks, which means we can keep making money. Which, oh yes, now that I remember, day 1's a busy day, so we should have him serving as much as possible daily in there. And we probably should have another bar, which might even be more important. So I'm gonna do that for now. I'm gonna extend this tap room one more time. That's awkward. Can I not? There we go. And we're gonna place another bar counter in there. And all of these bars are backwards? What is going on here? Let's just move this. Try again. Come on. There we go. There we go. That's what we want. We want the apron to be on the inside. It's obviously apron for employee there. Okay. So once he brings this tap over to the barrel over to the tap, then we'll be able to open up for business with 20 gold in our reserves. And yeah, so day 1 once we open up, we'll get this this marketing event, which you get on day 1 that boosts your patrons. So it's a pretty stressful day 1. It's not out of the ordinary for some patrons to leave on day 1 because they don't get served in time, because there's so many of them. But then the next day there's so much less, so not worth investing in a second employee, especially when we have no loan interest to pay. Now, as for our tavern name, how about something nice and original, very unique? And there's that green thumbs up indicating our new business bonus. So, you might be wondering, aren't you gonna give Dalen somewhere to sleep so that he isn't sad all the time? And no, we're not going to, because for 2 days he has new staff optimism, which will offset all of this stuff, including sleeping on the floor. So we're just gonna go ahead and roll with that. And in 2 days, we'll give him a very expensive $50 bed, which is one of these staff beds. Oops. Go back up here. So who's this? Suzanne, the pickpocket. She has dirty feet. See, okay, this would be... Ooh, I need one more coin and I can place the mat. But we're also going to spend how much tonight? 76. Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm curious how much the mat actually helps, the welcome mat, to clean their feet. Suppose we'll find out in due time. Once I have enough money to throw around on experimentation. Well, it's not even much of an experiment. I'm going to be getting it anyway. Okay. Customer number 2. There they go. So I expected much more customers on day 1. Last time I I started a new game, I was getting overwhelmed on day 1. It was only 3 p.m. Maybe at 5. We'll see more come in. I don't know if there's 9 to 5s in this mythical world here, but Edwin's here now. You can actually rename the patrons. I wonder if they come back. Is there like I could see the amount of visits? That'd be cool. If they even, it would only be cool, I guess, if they ever come back. But why rename them if they never come back, you know? Rename staff? Yeah, that's cool. Nalen's cleaning. Got two barrels rather, in stock here. In our lovely swampy world. So yeah, big plans for this tavern, pub, hotel that we're building here. Oh, I can't wait for this game to have second floors. I think that'd be nice. I really enjoy the swamp environment more than the like pristine, clean other environments. I think I'll like the mountain one too though when it eventually comes out. And I want to eventually get into more like theming of the taverns. Obviously, you can tell from the tavern sign here that there's a certain intellectual property that I'm keen on. It is Christmas season, holiday season, December 1st, literally, actually, today, 2025. Early access Tavern Keeper. Making some money. Let's fast forward here now. So I thought we'd get way more customers on day one there, but not really. And we have just enough money to cover our debts. Oh, just kidding. Sales tax. That's right. We are going to go into the red on day one here. And, you know, that's why I changed the bankruptcy timer. Really, anything over 12 would be nice because we would have just lost the game, right? Which is, maybe that's the challenge you want. You know, I don't like the uncertainty of it. I know you have your, it tells you how much you're going to pay ahead of time, but it's just so frustrating sometimes to, you know, you're cruising along, you say you're on like day 10, you have 150 at the end of the day in your finance bucket, and then just out of nowhere you lose all of it and then you lose the game. So I give myself the 24 hours so that, yes, we're in debt and we might lose the game, but so long as a customer comes in the next day and we're able to crawl out of debt, then we will be okay. Speaking of debt, let's take a look at our loan. Yeah, so we have 8 days left. We're gonna end up spending 400 gold on it. But I'm optimistic that once that loan goes away, we won't need to take another one at all. Maybe I'll reduce that from 20 though or from 24 to like 18. We'll play around with the settings. Here he is. Here's Dalen sleeping on the floor again. And he's awake. Okay, cool. So, new business ends tomorrow, which is good. We should get a lot more traffic in today. Maybe we can even see. So there's this is like the patron book, I think it's called. I think it's only good for when groups come, to be honest with you. Like, you could see historic data, but I don't really see the value of the historic data when you have your approval rating menu. It seems like they kind of do the same thing. And right now we do not care about our approval rating. This is just going to go down as people realize how god-awful this place is. But one day this will be a lovely establishment. And by one day, I mean hopefully in 2 in-game days. Alright, there's our debt eliminated. Looks like we're running a little low. There's our scrape barrel eliminated, and here's our pricing menu. Okay, so definitely boop that up by 1 gold. No one will know. And here's all the foot traffic I expected on day 1. Now we actually are overflowing on patrons here. So hopefully Dalen will be able to handle all of this. I don't think he will. I think some of these people are going to miss their drinks, but the good news is they got in line before I raised the prices of everything. So we're up to 76, that should, or 86, that should cover our taxes and our, oh no, okay, still not enough to cover our expenses for the day, but I think we're gonna need to spend this money anyway. Just don't tell the government I said that. We're going to, well, we want more revenue, right? And how do we get more revenue? We get more revenue by serving more drinks and also bulletin boards. But the bulletin board is kind of expensive. I think what we need is more barrels, which we have a merchant coming tomorrow. And we need another tap. And I think once we have that, we'll be good. I'm okay with the 2 bars. But how much another tap will cost us? 60. Another employee is going to cost us probably 20 to 30, it looks like. None of these guys are even really that good. I want a server, like a dedicated server. This guy's not bad, Edgar. We'd have 2 elves. That's something, I guess. We wouldn't have anybody that likes Dog's Body, but I feel like Dog's Body doesn't really have that much use in the beginning of the game. We can just make sure we get a Dog's Body for our next person. Josh seems cool too, just dedicated janitor. Night Owl, which for a janitor is not bad. Okay, enough looking at that. Let's do some building. Let's get a expanded tap room so that we get rid of some of these awkward corners. I think we're gonna go all the way into this space. Can I keep building? Oh yeah, okay, I can keep building over here. Can I remove? Nope, okay, we'll cancel. So we'll build all this. It'll cost us 8. How do I want to expand? And then let's get some staff room space over here. And that'll be enough for now. I want to just create a little bit more room. Can I? Yes, I can move these over just a little bit. No, it's in use. All right. Well, we're gonna have an awkward gap for a few seconds here. We're also about to run out of beer, but it's okay. We have that droid's foot. Seems like 3 barrels is about what you need for the first 3 days. Barrel a day, I guess that kind of tracks. Lotho. Alright, come on, gotta move on, Lotho. I'll straighten out my furniture. There goes that. Okay, let's get the droid's foot in there. And yeah, making some progress. Let's get the bulletin board up because we have all this space over here now. Let's also, we got the bench. Yep. The dartboard and the lamp. So bench is a good idea. We'll put a waiting bench over here. You are still super happy to just be here, and so we're not going to give you a bed yet. The price, we can adjust this. Okay, we can't really adjust that. Thinking. Layout. Do we want lights yet? Customers will probably like the lights, but I want to see how much they don't like not having lights before I spend the money on them, because lights are expensive. 25, you can get these little candle ones. I'll get one little candle. That'll make our employee a little less sad to be here, although he's still just loving it here. And we're about to go into a huge amount of debt. There it is. We sure have. All right, debt's okay. We're like net assets, not very good still, but we're one day at a time. We're only on day 3 here, and on day 3, I think we're gonna serve 5 drinks and then a 6th and a 7th and an 8th, and that will let us expand just a little bit further. And the goal of day 3.
There are elementals for everything. Taverns aren't even the most niche.
So here's an issue. We have 1 barrel in stock. Droid's foot. Druids. Merchant's here. Merchant's not here for a long time, and I don't have the funds to buy anything. So we might run out of beer today unless we can get 6 people served in how long? 6 hours? And the tavern's not even open yet? Is that right? Well, it's open now, I think. Even though no one's coming. Alright, here they are, There's two.
One
Oh.
of the patrons overheard that we had to take a loan
Lovely
and left
patron.
a big tip to help us out.
I wish it would tell you. Alright, we're gonna assume it was this first fella right here. So Fernando here, the beggar, tipped us 100 gold. Let that be a lesson. Anyone that lives in the city. And let's get more scrape barrel. We're gonna get. We're gonna do dog's bitter because it's only a gold coin more, and it's a half star better in quality, which means we can charge more for it, which is a great thing to do. Speaking of doing that, let's do that. So let's charge a little more for the droid's foot. Druids, not droids. This isn't Star Wars. And let the money come a-flowing. Okay, so we do have enough for a second tap now. And we do have 2 varieties of beer. So maybe I'll just buy the second tap now just to have it exist in the pub. We can obviously move all this stuff. And, oh yeah, you want to go to the bathroom. Actually, what are you doing? You're waiting, but there is no bathroom. You can just leave. You're collecting mud in my lovely pub. Who's this? Colton, another beggar. I wish I remembered the name of the guy that tipped me 100 gold. Oh well. How we looking? Got some more people coming in. Running low on Druid's foot. We got the dog's bitter. How much are we charging for this stuff? Ooh, no one's even buying it, huh? All right, let's, so how do we address this? Well, we make Droid's foot more expensive. There we go. And now people will shell out for dog's bitter. In fact, I'll just make both of these a little less expensive. %60 price approval rating, whereas you guys have 49%. Oh no, this is the dog's bitter. 57% price approval rating. Okay. And we're only getting one of those. Okay, let's just make everything a little bit cheaper. Here we go. 15 and 6. Not great. I actually like that mechanic of, well, if you have like a nice better beer and it's cheap, then no one's gonna buy the shitty stuff. In fact, I might just make that a little bit more and that a little bit more. There we go. Seems like you can get away with little 1 gold ticks like that every so often. If some customers show up, that would also be really cool. I think that's what this is supposed to be for. Like, the approval rating shows you what customers that have been here say about it, whereas this is showing you like why customers aren't here. And I can go to, I don't know which one of these is past. Click to switch between seeing further or no more. I don't know which one's, I think this one's no more. So we just spent a coin there. And we can see expected in soon. Okay, these guys did not come because there was not enough reputation. Okay, how do I get reputation? Okay, by having a bathroom, basically, I think is what that means. There's that group of 2. Oh, and a third. How lovely. And they're buying my expensive beer. Any signs on our poster board? No broccoli or lettuce or bouquets of green flowers. Okay, now you probably want a bed now. Yeah, you're gonna want a bed now. And we have enough for it, so let's, well, we're gonna go in debt again tonight, folks, but that's it's kind of gonna be the norm for the first few days. How much are we spending? 96? Yep. So over twice the amount of money we actually have in the bank, but we'll survive. And besides, Dalen has a bed now, and what could be better than that? Having your own bed where your feet just hang off the bottom. How lovely. Alrighty, well that was day 3. Going on to day 4 now, and I think on that note, I'm gonna leave this episode or something here. I don't actually even have a YouTube channel. Oh, let me pause. So I'm gonna make one for this video, and I might make more videos. I might not. I don't really know. I kind of want to record some Derail Valley, but that depends on if anyone watches this stuff. So if you watched this, thanks. And until day 4, until the next one, take care.